happy that you chose to come to Range Road this evening. We're very proud of our school. Welcome to everyone. And our LSIC presentation is not as in-depth as Mr. King's, or as long. But you'll be excited.
That's good. We're off on the right foot.
That's good. Next slide. We accomplished AYP this year, and we are very proud of that fact. We had a huge celebration with our community and with all of our students and parents down at the Ranger Park, and it was amazing. So we got lots of support that day, and we had fireworks. We were excited. We didn't have fireworks down there, but we had fireworks in our hearts. So we were happy. Next one, please. Our AYP, I'm tied up in that, but our West Test 2 data for this past school year, we did have 100% participation. We're very proud of that also. And just an overview of the percentage of students that scored proficient. And just to let you know, we have over 80% of our children that fall in the low SES category. So we're very proud of the fact that gains that we made, knowing that at least 80% of our children fall in that category. But we had 52 children tested, and overall in math proficiency, we had 48.08% score at least proficiency. That was mastery or above. We had in reading, we had 55.77%. In science, 43.23%. And in social studies, 49.02%. So that's positive. That was a positive gain from the year before. So we're very proud of that fact. If you look at it, breaking it down into class sizes, we had 22 students in 3rd grade. We had 9.09% of those children scored partial mastery. 54.55% scored at or above mastery. So that tells me we had almost 65% of our children that were either mastery or very, very close. And we took a look at that partial mastery category, went back, found out which children fell in that category, how close they were to scoring mastery, and concentrated on some of those skills that we know that are going to lift them up there for this coming school year. So we're hitting those as targets. In 4th grade, we had 22 children tested. 4.54% scored partial mastery, 50% scored at or above. So we're looking at that group of children, which is our 5th grade this year, we have really targeted. And math was a weakness for us in there. Though we're talking about reading right now, reading was weak, but math is where we need to really focus, and we know that. But we have a new 5th grade teacher this year, and she is a dynamo in math. Mr. McKiff can vouch for she is. I go in there and I sit in awe. I think, oh my God, I can't believe she's doing this. I can't believe these children are having these kind of conversations. So we're ready. In 5th grade, we had 8 children last year, which was unbelievable. They made lots of gains. We had 25% of them score partial mastery in reading. It's 75% of them score mastery or above. So Jonah has those children now. That 25%, he could really move just a few questions and they would be at mastery in reading. In math, in our 3rd grade, we had 22.72% partial, 31.82% at or above. We know math is our weakness. We're challenged with that, and we are hitting it headstrong this year. We're working on doing lots of small group, lots of skills to get those children up where they need to be mastery. In 4th grade, we had 18.18% partial. We had 63.64% at mastery or above. It's Pam Crum. She is an amazing teacher. You go in there, and the children they know what to do, they know how to do it, and they're at it all the time. I can walk in her classroom, and I can tell you exactly what they're doing. The kids can tell me, this is what we're doing, this is how you do it. So my 4th and 5th grade this year is just unbelievable. I'm just very, very proud. And in our 5th grade, we have 50% at partial, 50% at or above. So Jonah got some really good students this year for 6th graders from Ranger. Little bit of work, and those kids are all going to be at mastery or above. And I have to say that because they're still my babies. I'm very proud of them. I see quite a few of them every morning. Breaking it down into male and female, because we wanted to see if there was a huge gap between our males and our females in our building. And really, there's not a big gap at all. We had 29 males tested in reading. Their percentage was 55.17% proficient. Our females, we had 23 tested and 56.52% scored proficient. So there's not a big gap there. In math, we had 29 tested, 48.28% proficient, and then we had 47.83 females. So there's the math, the boys are a little stronger. Reading, the girls are a little stronger. But we're going to balance that out. We want them all to be above that. And 50% of our children that are low SES made mastery in reading, and 50% made mastery in math. And our special ed category, we had 10 children. 20% of them in reading scored proficient. 50% of those children scored proficient in math. So our children in our special needs category are stronger in math, and we know that. So reading is targeted right now, and we're using the Wilson's program along with our Read 180 program to get those children up where they need to be. And I just did this because I wanted to see the growth. I looked at last year, 2011 third graders, which is the year 2012, last year's fourth graders. That's the increase from 33.33% in reading proficiency up to 50%. Then in math, 33% up to 63%. We made a huge jump in math last year. In fourth grade, which was our 5th grade students last year, they went from 50% in reading proficiency, 75% proficiency. And then in math, they went from 60 up to dropped. And that we knew that's our challenge. We dropped back to 50. But we've got some strong math people, and that's our positive. That's what we're using to our benefit and to our children's benefit. Some of the ways that we want to maintain AYP, data analysis. We are constantly, every Wednesday morning, teachers are coming in, that hour, they're discussing, this is what we're doing. We're setting reading skills that we work on every 2 weeks. We rotate those skills. Math skill, the entire school concentrates on this math skill for 2 weeks. Reading skill for 2 weeks. We do a writing prompt every 2 to 3 weeks across the school. Everybody works on the same prompt so that we can build that continuity from grade level to grade level. So that's a big positive. We're looking at DIBELS. We looked at our West Test data, our scholastic reading and math inventories. We're looking at those. When Ms. Fry looks into the SRI data, and when someone is able to test, and they test out of the Read 180 program, when they test out, there's a huge celebration in that classroom because those children are back into the regular classroom now doing the small groups with their teacher rather than going into that Read 180 classroom where they spend 80 minutes a day with 4 targeted groups, 4 targeted areas, and they work into small groups. So we look at that. We're looking at process writing continuously, and those writing prompts are making a huge difference. If you looked on some of our bulletin boards, even our preschoolers are doing writing prompts. The teacher's writing, but those children are talking about it, creating those sentences and that paragraph together. We are looking at differentiated instruction, not only with our special needs children, but all of our children. We're looking at those skill gaps. What do we need to target? Who do we need to target this with? We are looking at tiered instruction in reading and math or the support for specialized learning so that our children are being given all the extra help we can give them to make them get into the position of being mastery, not just for West Test, but for themselves, so that they are successful from one grade level to the next. We are also doing Wilsons, and Miss Beverly Davis does 2 Wilsons groups a day, and that is between 45 and 60 minutes. They target some basic reading skills so that those children that, even though they may be in 3rd or 4th grade, if they're not where they need to be, she focuses on where they're at and starts working to get them where they need to be. We are also using a lot of teaching strategies, and I was in Miss Pam's room talking with her maybe today, and we were talking, the children asked, what's something that you can use that helps you to be more successful when you're studying? Graphic organizers was instant. Those kids know, I use this graphic organizer, it's going to help me retain it, it's going to help me have a guide of what I need to do. We're looking at critical skills after school. We had that, it ended in November. We're hoping to start back in January. That is a huge positive for our school. And I know the transportation issue is a major issue with us, having one bus run all of our attendance area. We had probably between 15 and 20 kids staying, and some of them weren't getting home till 6:30, and they would get here at 7 o'clock that morning. But they wanted to stay because they saw the benefit. They saw the positive that came out of it when they were making really good scores on their tests and when they were making improvements in their reading and their math. We look at co-teaching, and we have co-teaching with our title people as well as our special services teacher. We have teamed them up. They do a lot of co-teaching with each other, work on lesson plans together, know exactly what's going on. Miss Terry Clements is our special needs teacher right now. She pairs up with Miss Stephanie Workman, who is our 5th grade teacher a lot. She works with our 1st grade teacher some, looking at the lesson plans and the skills that the children, she's going to be pulling out what she needs to target so that they're on the same page all the time. And we're also, in January, we will be looking at our phonological awareness program. Miss Beverly Davis usually does that with our kindergarten students to make sure that they're on track. We've already started pulling and doing small group instruction with those children so that we don't have to wait. We want it to occur now so that we can target that. They will be able to move on. Lots of innovative practices. We do our weekly vertical teams. We're not fortunate enough to have two teachers per grade level, so we do a lot of vertical teaming, as well as, and I'm very thankful to Mr. King for allowing my 1st grade teacher to participate in grade level team meetings at his school. This is her 1st year in 1st grade, and she does not want to miss going there on Thursday evenings because we were setting some book studies and things on Thursday evenings. She said, you can't do that because I can't participate here and go there. And I need to be there too. So we had to change things around a little bit. We do weekly staff meetings to stay abreast of everything that's going on. We also do, and I've already mentioned the grade level, Miss Stephanie Workman, who is, this is her 1st year of teaching, and she's working closely with Miss Cheryl Workman, and Cheryl has set it up so Stephanie can go to Hamlin one morning a month and work with the 5th grade teachers in doing grade level team meetings. So we're trying to give them lots of extra support to make sure that they're on track with everything that's going on throughout the classrooms that they are not aware of throughout the county. Our IPI instructional practices inventories, we have scheduled our first. We're a little late this year in getting that scheduled, but we are on track now. We're using APL strategies to enhance behaviors and expectations. And if you're not aware of what APL is, you teach and model the behaviors and expectations that you want in your school. The first 2 weeks of school, we modeled how to come down the hallway, we modeled how to get your tray, we modeled all the expectations in your classroom. Anything that you want your children to know how to do, you model it. Then you practice. In the first 2 weeks, we practice. Then if you have someone that errs just a little bit, then we have seminar during their playtime, which maybe 10 minutes of their playtime, they go back and they practice the correct way to do that behavior or that expectation so that alleviates any errors and it doesn't create major behavior problems. So you have to model it first, practice it, and then make sure that continue to build upon it. And we have been very successful, I have to say. Bus issues was our major seminars. And I was doing bus seminars. But I decided Miss Loudon, who loves to do things, she is our bus seminar lady. And believe me, you do bus seminar because Fred leaves his bus out here every day. So when it's playtime, you go get on the bus. You know how she does step by step. This is how you step the steps to get on the bus. This is the seat you sit in. This is how you drive the bus. She comes to your stop. She opens the door. You have 3 seconds to get yourself up, get out the door. You stand beside the bus the entire time until every child gets off the bus on there. And she drives, pretends that she's driving, and you do every stop. So you practice exactly what's expected of you. You want to go to bus seminar anymore because you know what to do. And we do the same thing if it is disrupting class. Miss Kelsey, one of our best. They don't want to go back to Miss Kelsey's room and practice disruptions and things like that because Miss Kelsey does a very specific grid. This is what you do. And if you don't expect it and you don't model it, you can't expect it. If we don't teach them what we want, you can't expect them to do it. So that's been very positive for our school this year. Fresh fruits and vegetables, and we are very fortunate that our children have our fresh garden bar every day, and I get the privilege of serving the PK through 2 every day. I'm at that bar serving. What do you want? And they can't point. They have to tell me what vegetables they want or what fruits they want. Especially my preschoolers, they want to point. I say, I've got to hear you. You've got to say what that is. And then if they don't know what it is, I tell them and have them repeat it. Because I want them to learn what those vegetables are and those fruits are, so they can ask for them. We are also, Mr. King allotted to the wellness program. We are doing a lot of wellness activities with our children as well. And some of our staff members were talking this evening. When we come back from Christmas break, we want to, as a staff, start a wellness 1 day a week, and the suggestion is Zumba. So 1 day a week after school, as a staff, we're going to try to start meeting and do a physical activity as a group. But we do a lot. We've got PlayStations and Wii games that the children, we use it as a positive reward. Attendance rewards for each month, or we also use it for some of the other things. We've got a competition going on right now with our food drive. We're using that food drive to teach math skills, but we're also rewarding them with a physical activity of 45 minutes of Wii games. That they can come in here and rotate through the games and play those games, but it's physical activity. Even though they're having a blast, they're getting exercise too. So they're getting the math from all the charting and all the activities of collecting all the food. So we're incorporating a lot of different things, real-world situations we're bringing into the classroom. And Mr. King had allotted to Ms. Workman doing a book study with them on number talks. We were fortunate enough that we had started number talks about 3 weeks ago. We have done the first 3 chapters. We are starting, I think the 10th is our next book study meeting with her, and we're doing that. And then after that book, we haven't determined the next book that we will start. So, our attendance rate for 2011 was 98.5, which was up from the previous year. The next slide will show you the trend from 2007-08 all the way through 2012. Last year we dropped. In 2010, we were 99.91% in attendance. Last year we dropped to 97.9-ish, year before last. Last year we were 98.5. So we're back moving up. Just got to keep those rewards coming and keep those children wanting to be here. Activities and positive rewards makes it all worthwhile. Our major facility need is a media center. More importantly, a library. Our children are traveling once a month, each, like PK goes by itself, then grades K and 1 go, 2 and 3 go, and 4 and 5 go. We're going to Salt Rock Library, just so they have the exposure to a library setting. And the librarians are doing activities with them as well as the classroom teachers, and exposing them to all that the library has to offer. And they're being able to check out books and share and do some things. So that would be a major positive for our school and the community of Ranger, because there's not a library here local. It's Salt Rock or Hamlin or Chapmanville. So that would be not only for our school, but our community as a whole. Our motto is, you have to believe that you can achieve, because if you achieve, you will succeed. And we know that because our children, my babies, are very successful. And I am so proud of them, but I'm proud of the staff that works with them every day, because they truly have compassionate hearts and truly care about the children that come to school here. You know, we go above and beyond, and I'm sure every other school does. We go above and beyond, making sure they have socks on their feet, making sure they have a coat to wear, making sure that they eat. If they come in at 10 o'clock, they still get breakfast. I come and get it myself, because I want to make sure they've got something in their stomachs before they go in that classroom. So we go above because we want them to be here. We want them to be successful. I mean, we went and picked them up at home before just to make sure they're here. That's, if I can get them here, I can make things happen. That's the battle. Exactly. And these are just a couple of things that explains Read 180 and the IPI. So I appreciate your time. I thank you for coming out to Ranger Elementary. And like Mr. King said, have a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays.
Anybody have any questions for Ms. Napper? You did a very thorough, you know, you came in like Mr. King was going to take all this time to do anything. I think you outdid him. I didn't know
It's all right, honey. You can have that one.
Oh, I don't know what's going to happen next year, though. He's got the pressure on him now. So.
We're going to do it in tandem. We're going to team present.
Maybe that would work. That would work. But it sounds like you're all doing a lot of great things. Obviously, you know, many of us know that your compassion for the kids. You know, I don't know how many times Christine talked about my kids, and I've heard that over the years many times. But you know, when you in a close-knit community like you all have here, you know, everybody knows everybody, and you know those that have needs, and you want to address those, and you're certainly doing that. The celebration you had, I think it was a great idea. I think it kind of woke us up too there a little bit. But some of the same things, you know, you seem to be doing the right things. Obviously, you know, we're very proud that you two have met AYP. It's seldom that we go to or have sessions where, unfortunately, our schools are meeting the AYP, and to come to a session where we have two schools and they both met, maybe that's something new for us. I don't recall that before. But yeah, that just shows what you have been doing. And look, I was just making some notes on some of the things that you all do relative to working on your individual needs and your test scores, and certainly that's what you need to do. I had a couple of questions. One, what is your total enrollment?
I think 138. I think that was the last count I had.
Okay.
I'm looking at possibly losing a couple to Mr. King. That was the word. I don't know if it's true or not. But
Well, what about...
Love you, baby.
if I can't have them, I want you to.
You're all overwhelming. You have some form of recess or playtime. You mentioned
Yes.
playtime. How long a period of time do you have?
20 minutes for the K through 2, and approximately 20 minutes for 3 through 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Our day is super tight. Our children go to class at 7:30. We have their 30-minute lunch at 11, 30-minute lunch at 11:30. Children are excused at 2:15. So we are on target and on task all day long. There's not a lot of downtime nor playtime. Because the day is so short.
Right. Well,
Now, if you want to give us a few more minutes on the day, we'd love it.
no, I
If you let us go to 2:30, we would be thrilled.
Now, I just had seen some research recently, and they were talking about there was a correlation between schools that had a lot of recess or playtime and their success. And, you know, of course, it also, I think that delves over into physical education and those things that they're getting into. But it kind of, when you mentioned that in your presentation, that's why I was curious.
Yeah. Well, now, we do have PE every day.
Right.
They do have their PE every day.
Okay.
And the classroom teachers, if there is, they're teaching and it becomes a little long, then they get up and do some things to get the blood flowing, to get the tension back. Because I've been in classrooms and saw them, okay, let's take 30 seconds or a minute and let's do something to get them out of those seats.
Well, I think it's a good thing to have recess and playtime, you know.
I wish we could do more, but with the time constraints,
Oh, I understand.
it's just,
I think it's a good thing. Unfortunately, many times we've gotten away from that, and you know, that's part of being a kid too. I think.
yeah. Well, and using the WE systems as a reward, you wouldn't think that kids would want to come in here and do a lot of those activities because a lot of it is physical movement. But they have a blast. When we have like 8 of them set up around this cafeteria and 4 kids to each one, and we rotate through, they have a blast. And the teachers are interacting with them. You know, you got to have a little fun.
It's the best way to learn is to enjoy what you do.
I play that goose all the time. And I love it.
I would like to say how proud we are of Mrs. Napper and her staff for such growth this year. They really looked at data last year, what do we need to do, and they were right on target. Coming to this school is always such a pleasure, you know, and as we are here, you know, they're always, we can go into any classroom, you know, and walk through the curriculum team, you know, they're talking about the student engagement and just dynamic teachers, and you referred to some of those this evening. I know you also have a parent educator and good parent involvement here in the community. I know the other day when we were here, you talked about your community support that you have and some things that they're doing with you, you know, just for the holiday. But you know, you are a small school, and everybody just comes together just like a family, and it's always a pleasure. And I'm so proud of what you all have done this year, and I know you'll continue to do so. As you listed a lot of the things that you're doing as a school, and we want to see that continue, and I'm sure it will. But again, it's, you know, great, and I'm so proud of Ranger Allen and all of the staff.
We're very proud. And I'd like for my staff to stand up. I didn't introduce them when I started. Got carried away too quick. We have quite a few staff here this evening. And they are the people that do the work. And I will tell you this, I come here every morning excited. And I come here every morning waiting for somebody to tell me what they want me to do. Because they all know what they need to do. And they do it. I don't have to tell them. They know what to do and they do it. Now a lot of times I get told what to do. And that's okay. Because if I need to do something, I will. And they know that. But they are the people that keep this school moving and going. And I'm very proud to work with them. I really am. They're the best. Thank you all very much.
We can understand why, for sure. Even though you did lose Mr. Glenville, and we know that was a blow.
And that was just complete shock. Because he's the one that's so data-driven. I mean, he kept us, our noses down. We didn't have a choice. And now he's gone. But we still call him all the time.
He may come back, you never know with him.
Well, that's with him, you never know. But thank you all very much for coming this evening.
Thank you all.